So if you want to overcome writer's block as an artist, creator, writer, the first thing you have to understand is that writer's block really is just you controlling and dictating what you create and telling yourself that, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to create this. And the first way to overcoming this entire mindset is to give yourself permission to create bad art. Not saying that what you create is bad, but in your mind is telling you that, whatever you create, it's not good enough, and therefore you shouldn't create it. And so to overcome this, you need to allow yourself to just create and allow it be what it is. Allow your art to be bad. So in order to overcome writer's block, the first thing you have to do is give yourself permission to create bad art. Not saying your art is bad, but give yourself permission to just create something, and even if it's not art that you would share with the world, it's still art that you can say, you know what, I made this and I'm proud of it, and I'm proud that I finished it, I completed it, over the idea of whether it's good or not. Because, as an artist, there's like levels to making good art. There's making no art, then there's making art, and then there's making good art. And so like you kind of have to get good at making bad art to get good at making good art. And so in order to do that, you have to create a lot, essentially. It's very, very like crucial that you create a lot in a high volume. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's almost really what it is. Push yourself to make bad art. Make bad art on purpose. Make high volumes of bad art on purpose. And you don't even have to share it with people if it's not good to you. You know what I mean? If you write it, like allow yourself to make art that you're not going to share with the world. And instead of focusing on writing good songs, focus on starting and completing your songs. Instead of focusing on writing a great book or a great chapter, focus on starting and writing and completing what you write. And that's what's going to allow you to overcome writer's block. Instead of trying to write the perfect or create the perfect painting, create the perfect songs, it's better to just like get competent and proficient at starting and finishing a project. And doing that consistently at a high volume, just doing that like every day repetitiously. And in the process of that creative discipline, you will stumble upon good art, and you'll start to find your sound, and you'll start to find what you do that is good. And that's how you can get good at being good, because being a good artist is being able to consistently deliver and write good songs. So it's like a lot of our favorite famous artists that we can think of who have like a big catalog. There's like a lot of music. There's probably, if that's their catalog, there's probably like double the size of that catalog of art that you've never heard them make that's not good, that they would never share, and that you'd probably laugh if you listen to it. And I think that's what's required to be a great artist. You know what I'm saying? To really be a high volume artist, you have to have written a lot of really bad art that you don't share with the world. And so to overcome writer's block, you really gotta like fall in love with the process of like writing bad art. Give yourself permission to write badly. Because writer's block is just telling you yourself it's not good, and because it's not good, therefore you shouldn't even start. And so you don't push yourself to even write. You know what I mean? It's like a mind fuck. You have to like rewire your thinking and your perspective, and that's what's gonna allow you to overcome writer's block. To be able to create at a high volume, to be able to be the type of artist who is prolific in your creativity, and be able to get so many songs written, or so many essays or blogs or whatever you do creatively, paintings, to be able to get so much done accomplished, you have to unlock the gate from your mind that's telling you not to produce. You know what I'm saying? And there's ways to do that. You know what I'm saying? No, this is live right now. This is all live. There's exercise that you can do that. The first mindset that you have to adopt is that you have to give yourself permission to make bad art. Give yourself permission to make garbage. Not saying what you do create is bad, but giving yourself permission to be okay with not making good, whatever you make, good music, good art. That's going to give you the freedom to just allow yourself to say what you want to say and be okay with making mistakes, be okay with what you're creating not be good. You know what I mean? That's really what it's about, 100%. When you are somebody who, when you're the type of artist who has, when you're the type of artist who has essentially like unlocked that side to you, you'll be able to you'll be able to do so much with your content. When you're able to, when your creativity, when you're able to free your mind from judging what you create, you can produce a high volume. And when you produce a higher volume, you will make a lot, you'll get better faster. And you will just by sheer numbers and consistency, you will find good art in your art. You'll make something really dope. And you'll create more and more. And so to overcome writer's block, you have to allow yourself the permission. You have to give yourself permission to create and give yourself the permission to make art that's not that good. You know what I mean? Like, it's better to complete something that's not good than start something that's really good and not complete it. Because you're just training yourself not to be a finisher. You want to be someone that completes. And through that completion, you'll be able to find, good art within that. You know what I mean? You'll be able to find the art that you really enjoy, that you make. And so one way to overcome writer's block is to start every morning free writing every morning on a notebook. So I have a notebook and I write every morning, and I will write for like 5 minutes and allow myself to just write whatever comes to my mind. Free write, literally whatever comes to your mind, like looking out the window, sitting on the couch, Pacific weather, snowboarding, pineapples, like random stuff, you know what I mean? Like literally write the most randomest things. But write every day. And you do this over a consistent period of time, you're basically training your brain to not judge what you write and what you say and what you create. It's like freestyling in a way. It's like freestyling. And when you do that and you practice this all the time, essentially what happens is you sharpen your skill set of being free and open. And you know what I mean? You essentially open your mind and you allow yourself to remain open over a consistent period of time. And you know how to tap into that. And then when you do that, you kind of get into it's basically getting yourself into like a flow state creatively, artistically. Yeah, that's the thing with writing. It's all about perception. So you could say that, yeah, it's definitely about a mood. It could be hard though, but it's all about not thinking that it's hard. You got to think differently. You got to say that it's easy. A lot of times, I can come up with ideas for my music or whatever I'm creating just by saying that it's easy to do so. Like I will flip my mind. It's about mindsets, and moods. And there's certain, and that's the difference between, like you said, it's a mood, but that's the difference between a professional artist and an amateur artist. A professional artist creates whether or not they're in the mood or not. It's all about just discipline, sitting at the typewriter, you know what I mean? Like on some every day following a routine as a creator, as an artist. That's the same thing with being, a songwriter, a rapper, anything you do. And if you only create when you're in the mood, it's like capping your growth. Because when you create, when you don't feel like creating, when you just like staying in, exactly, it's like hobby mindset. When you create because you're disciplined, when you're creating like that, you're not allowing yourself to be your best version of yourself. So, writer's block is one of those things where you'll never have it if let's say if today you write a really great song and tomorrow you're not in the mood to create, but you do try to create, and you create, and it's not that good. Writer's block is you stopping yourself. But you should not even be worrying about being in the habit of making and producing good art, but be in the habit of just starting and finishing your project, your creativity. That is like a much stronger skill set to have over than just being good at making a good song every now and then. Because if you can have this skill set to just finish, then you have it's like having the kitchen. It's like you have a restaurant, right? Let's say as a musician, as a creator, you're a restaurant. You have the kitchen staffed perfect. You know what I mean? You got all the cooks, you got the chef, you got everything back there because you have the food. You know what I mean? You have all the products, you have the music, you have the art, you have everything you need, and you don't need to think about that. Now it's about distribution. You know what I'm saying? It's about how you bring it out and serve it to your audience. But if you don't have if you can't, like if you're an artist, it's like having a restaurant in a lot of ways. The artist is the restaurant, and the food is the music. And the writing process of creating is literally like being in the kitchen. If you don't have a system to create a consistent sound, a consistent music, it's kind of hard to like start a successful career, like making this a career. You know what I mean? I think the writing stuff is something that every rapper I can say, I got to feel it up. I don't think that's maybe, but I wrote most of my better shit. Fuck that. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely, Sometimes like in music, there's different sides to the music. There's like where it feels so much about life and what you're going through. You know what I mean? There's that aspect to it, you know what I'm saying? And that goes with life. That's like the ping pong of life, I think like the concept of like being in that position to be able to create like that comes from being an artist who's just locked in, creating. If you're locked in, like let's say for like a couple months, and you're like, I'm gonna write music right now, and your heart is telling you to write music, but somehow your brain is stopping you from the production, that's like a problem. You know what I'm saying? And so like sometimes, like as an artist, when you don't have the skill sets to break through writer's block, you get lucky and can write really great music. And that's how I was. I would get really lucky and write a really good song, and I'd be like, man, how can I do this again and again? I didn't realize that I needed to just be a professional artist, someone who creates every day consistently. And as I started to do that, that's what really started to unlock my ability to always be able to write a song. Always be able to write and produce and create. And so that's something I feel like a lot of artists could work on to recognize. That's what a lot of people, not even a lot of artists, it's the people who want to actually start a career in music, actually be a creator. You have to get into that. You have to get over the judgment of what you're creating. Over that. You have to get over that judgment. That's like a one key factor, so that you can get into the flow of production, starting and finishing, and then having a catalog to look through, to listen to see what you've created, and you can like then pick and choose and find where you can build from there. So, yeah. That's really good. That's really good. See, like if you do that and you can continue to do that every month or every other month, like you can be really far ahead. You know what I'm saying? Being able to produce music and write consistently. That's really dope. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Are there any issues that you have as an artist? A lot of artists struggle with not being able to write, because it's like when you're not able to write and you need to write, you need to create, it can hinder your growth and can stop you from becoming like what you truly want to become in life. If that's really what your heart is set on, but then it's like you're held back by what you really want to do. You know what I mean? I think as a lot of artists, we need to start finishing our work and putting our work out into the world and not holding ourselves back. Not holding ourselves back. That's what it's about. But it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. I'll be back very soon. Young AMA, thank you very much for tapping in. I'm gonna holler at y'all very soon. It's been a pleasure. Stay writing, stay creating, keep pushing yourself to be great. Peace.